It's Thursday the 18th of September, which means ALDI's September yarn event has just started. You need to be careful. I did get quite a bit of yarn. Hey everyone, I'm Max and welcome back to my channel. I'm very sorry if you can hear my dog squeaking her toy. She's just got it and she loves it. In this video, we're going to be heading to ALDI to see if we can get any of their yarn or yarn-related goodies at their new yarn event. I am so excited. So let's go! Oh, it's so soft. You want to turn around? That's so soft. I love the colour, but I don't know if I could actually get some of that in blue. I got so much yarn. First, I want to start off with the non-yarn related goodies because there are fewer of those. First up, I got these metal knitting needles. These come in sizes 4, 5, 6 and 8 millimeters and they are 35 centimeters long. Hi, I'm coming in here from the future and I want to say with these knitting needles you need to be careful. You need to look at the packaging because you're supposed to get a pair of 6 millimeter needles and a pair of 5 millimeter needles. And I got 3 6 millimeter needles and 1 5 millimeter needle. So yeah, be careful. Make sure you're getting a pair of each. You should be able to see, I mean you can see just there, the size difference between the 6 and the 5. It's pretty obvious to the naked eye, so I would just double check your package and just make sure that you are getting pairs of needles and not a 3-in-1. These were $2.99, which I think is good value for 4 pairs of knitting needles. I'm going to pop this on the floor because my leg is already hurting. Next up, there was these circular knitting needles. These come in sizes 3, 4, 5 and 6 and they are 80 centimeters long. These were also $2.99, which once again I think is good value for 4 pairs of needles. Next up is something that I'm not sure everybody will find useful. A yarn bowl. I've seen a lot of conversation online about these and how useful they are for the average fibre artist. But for me personally, I craft a lot on my desk and my yarn is always rolling off my desk. So I think this will be very useful. And for $3.99, I couldn't ask for a better deal. That's all of the non-yarn related items that I got. I will say they had multiple colours of yarn bowls available and they also had a set of metal crochet hooks. The crochet hooks were just metal ones like these in fun colours. They did have a big size range. I believe it varied from about 3 millimeters up to 9 millimeters, which is a great size range, but for me personally, this is like my least favourite type of needle. I much prefer ones with a big handle, so I didn't get it. I know in the past, ALDI has had a lot of notions in their yarn events, and there wasn't that much this time. There was a lot of yarn, but not many yarn accessories, and I would have loved to see more of that. But anyways, on to the yarn. I did get quite a bit of yarn, so we're going to start off with the stuff I only got a few of, and then we're going to move into stuff I got a lot of. First up, I got this Aran yarn in the colour cream. This yarn is 75% acrylic and 25% wool. It is very soft, but definitely not the softest I've ever felt. You get 100 grams per skein, and they recommend you use 5 millimeter crochet hooks and knitting needles. I got 2 of these, and they also had black, white, and this bluey grey colour in my store. But I didn't decide to get any of those because this is the colour that stood out. Each skein of this was £1.29, which is a great deal. Next up, I got some chunky yarn. This is 100% acrylic yarn. Once again, you get 100 grams per skein, and they recommend you use 8 millimeter crochet hooks and needles. This yarn is 100% acrylic and it comes in this lovely blue colour. They also had black, white and this like grey colour that was like quite a dark grey in my store. I got 2 of the blue colour for £1.29 each. Next up is some yarn that I personally have never used, but I felt in the store and it was so soft I just had to have it. Oh, it's so soft. Baby yarn. This yarn is genuinely one of the softest yarns I have ever felt. You get 100 grams in a skein, and it recommends you use 8mm crochet hooks or knitting needles. It is 100% polyester, which I think is normal for this type of yarn, but I know that definitely puts some people off. But I don't think this yarn has a plasticky feeling or anything like that to it at all. This yarn came in 4 colours, and I got some of all of them. First up, I got 2 skeins of this white colour. I got 2 skeins of this baby blue colour. I got 2 skeins of this peach colour, which is like a pink, really. I would call this pink over peach. And I thought I got 2 skeins of this lemon colour, but I can only find one in my shopping bag, so unfortunately I think I may have lost one of these on the way home. The colours are so pretty, they go together so well. I think you could really make something nice with this yarn. And once again, each one of these skeins is $1.29, which is definitely not a bad deal. You could definitely get enough of this yarn to make a blanket with, and it wouldn't cost an arm and a leg. Last but not least, Aldi had a lot of variated yarns, and if you know me, you know I love a variated yarn. First up is this rainbow yarn in the colour Wildflower. Now, this yarn isn't as soft as the other yarn that I have shown. It comes with 80% acrylic and 20% wool, which honestly surprises me, because this yarn is much softer than this yarn. I wouldn't necessarily call this yarn scratchy or anything like that, it's just, it feels like yarn and not soft. The colour scheme in this yarn is really good, and I do wonder how this will work up, because the colours, they're a bit out there. You get 100 grams in each skein, and it recommends you use 5mm crochet hooks or knitting needles. I got 2 of these for $1.29 each. I think by this point you might be sensing a pattern that all of this yarn is £1.29 per skein, which is an amazing deal. Next up, I have some more variated yarn in a similar pattern. We have this rainbow yarn in blue. Honestly, the same comments apply to this yarn as they did about this yarn, but you could still make something nice out of this. Once again, you get 100 grams, it's 20% wool and 80% acrylic, and it recommends you use 5mm crochet hooks and knitting needles. I got 2 of these for £1.29 a skein. I feel a lot better about the colour scheme of these than I did about the Wildflower colour, so I think these will work up into something quite nicely. Last but not least, for the rainbow yarn, we have this taupe colour. Once again, it's the same type of yarn as the previous 2, so it feels like yarn. It doesn't feel the softest, it doesn't feel the scratchiest. It's 80% acrylic and 20% wool, and once again you use 5mm crochet hooks and knitting needles. I really like this colour. Online, when I was looking at it, I didn't know if I would like it, but in person, I think this looks really, really nice. Once again, I got 2 skeins of these for £1.29 a skein. Last but absolutely not least, we have some ombre yarn. This suffers from the same downsides as the other variated yarns. It's not the softest. I definitely wouldn't use this for a piece of clothing, but for something like a bag or something that's only going to be touching your skin occasionally, I think this could really work, and I absolutely love the colour. Annoyingly, this was the only ombre colour they had, but I did pick up 2 skeins. Like the other variated yarns, there is 100 grams in each skein. You're supposed to use a 5mm crochet hook or knitting needle, and it is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. Once again, these were £1.29 per skein. I will be doing individual videos reviewing what each of these yarns is like to work with, so if you want to see those videos, subscribe to the channel because they will be coming. All in all, what do I think of this yarn event? I have definitely seen ALDI have better yarn events in the past with more notions, more variated yarns, and a better selection, but overall I think this yarn event is pretty good. There is a lot of yarn for sale, and the prices are amazing. So if you have time to head to ALDI over the next week or so, I think you should pick up some yarn, especially if anything I've shown has interested you. While I was out, I also popped into Home Bargains and got some yarn from there, so there will be a separate video on the yarn that I got from Home Bargains. If you want to see that video and other yarn hauls and project vlogs that I upload, subscribe to the channel, and if you have made it this far, comment a yarn ball below, and I will heart your comment. Bye!